trying to make you happy.
Considered one of the promising seeds of the Vietnamese music scene, MINH is perhaps a Vietnamese national singing in perfect English.
The only things in company, no one understands me.
The 21-year-old singer-songwriter has released 5 singles that have covered all popular online music sites, racking up millions of plays and bringing in hundreds of thousands of listeners and positive feedback from the music lover community.
Lúc đầu mình nghe được nhạc của mình thì mình tưởng là người nước ngoài hát như một bạn ca sĩ nước ngoài bình thường. Sau đó thì mình mới biết, sau khi mình ra MV thì mình mới biết là mình đang ở Sài Gòn. Khá là wow, tại vì một người Việt Nam sống ở Việt Nam nhưng mà hát được như vậy thì theo cái cảm nhận của mình thì nó đạt được cái chuẩn của nhạc nước ngoài mình nghe.
He's a singer-songwriter, he's an instrumentalist, he produces his own music. He's a lyrical genius, this kid. I always sit there and go, man, how did you write that?
MINH has been collaborating with some prominent artists in Vietnam like Khát, Chàng, Ting Sui, Tumi, and Hoa Prox, and is set to work with international ones. His music does have universal appeal, sentimental without being corny, poppy without being attention-seeking. What's even more special, he only wears a white shirt and black pants on stage and only sticks to a simple Vietnamese name, MINH.
As an Asian artist, I really want to bring my culture, visually. In my Blame music video, we included traditional masks from Vietnam. And in my Fake Happy video, we had like the cupping therapy, which was a very Vietnamese thing. So I really wanted to include that. I thought that was very cool when the director, Linh Dan, she thought of it, and I was like, oh my God, of course.
Born in 2000, MINH's love for music has been nurtured both at home and at school. At the age of 13, he started singing and recording the first songs by himself on the phone in the bedroom. At that time, this was the only way for him to talk to himself and clear the mess in his mind.
MINH is an artist who I see as the next generation of kids growing up in this country but went to an international school and is very internationalist thinking but still very quintessentially Vietnamese because he has knowledge, because he's had the internet his whole life. Literally, he knows, he's been so passionate about music that he understands old school music. He's been listening to black music, soul music since he was a little kid. And when you have kids that have been able to be influenced and to literally go through the process of understanding music from a grassroots perspective, what comes out afterwards as an 18, 19, 20-year-old is very, very special.
MINH sings from the heart while delivering highly personal indie pop tracks, inspired by his innermost emotional life experiences. Not following a formula to crank out and perform songs, his devotion to the craft of lyricism is considered rare in music today, particularly in a competitive space where social media presence sometimes puts less deserving artists at the forefront. He has spent the past year preparing for his debut album at INQ International Studios. In this process, he has the perfect foil and co-writer Benjamin James. James is a British record producer and songwriter. He used to tour the UK, Europe, and the US before arriving in Vietnam and collaborating with many young Vietnamese stars like Khát or Camise.
We write songs every week, that's our kind of regular schedule, which is just, it's really important to make sure that there's a back catalogue of music, and not every song you write is the best song, is going to be a hit or will get released. So it's really important to make sure that constantly writing and constantly trying to take your writing in a different direction or step outside your comfort zone a bit.
Benjamin could still recall his first impression of MINH 3 years ago as a very confident and specific young artist. and he knew exactly what he wanted to say sonically. Now for this album, MINH has a lot more to offer.
He's a lot more adventurous vocally in how he uses his voice when he's writing songs, and the range, you know, how low he goes, how high he goes. That's probably the biggest difference that I would say I see.
MINH also added a different vibe in his first album to create more diversity. Apart from his acoustic tracks, he added some disco elements to create a more fun mode. Music producer Michael Choi has been working with MINH in his experiment. Choi is a well-known bass player and used to produce music in the US and UK. He's collaborated with famous global stars like Annie Lennox, Mika, or Zara Larsson.
I like working with MINH because he singer-songwriter category, which is the Ed Sheerans, the Adeles, the Sam Smiths. His work ethic is always very good. He never complains about working too hard or, you know, having to work long hours. He actually enjoys it. So that to me is a sign of a real musician. So the talent is one thing, but the other elements are probably more important, if I'm honest with you.
With his debut album and his talent, MINH will embark on a journey to win the hearts of a global audience.
Now you're about to release your very
To prepare for a stage performance to introduce his album to the audience, MINH received great tutoring from his mentor, Tang Bui, also a very experienced singer-songwriter with many songs that have reached the global market.
At this level of artistry, it's not about singing anymore.
Yeah.
It's just expression.
Yeah.
When you're on stage, when you've got the audience going crazy, so you have that ability to flip and change by the way that you feel about you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have to feel like in here, you've got this cast of iron.
Yeah.
And it just sits there.
I'm waking up in one big Friday.
First thing I'll do is take MINH. We will be doing shows in Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Korea. And I really want MINH to just take every opportunity to go out and play, perform, and show his talent.
Every day, MINH is at the studio and writes music for hours and practices his own songs. He often starts by using some chords and letting the lyrics flow on top. Unlike the older generations, he doesn't have to use music notes and sheets.
Before, people didn't have mobile phones, they couldn't record instantaneously, so they had to write it down or like write notes down. But for us as, you know, young kids, we have phones to record our ideas and stuff, so I think that's a huge difference. And, you know, I think the new generation, we're so much more expressive with what we're thinking, and we have more, you know, we have a bigger outlet to release our music, like Spotify and Apple Music.
MINH's lyrics often come from his real-life experience and reflection. He considered it as a conversation with himself, rather than a way to prove something.
There's always this pressure, like, you know, as a singer, you need this big song. But for me, I don't have that pressure on myself, because the minute you have that pressure is the minute you're inauthentic. And for me, my authenticity as an artist is top priority. So I tend to not think about it too much and just write whatever.